The small spaceship, Xylox, hummed softly as it flew through the stars. Inside, a team of alien explorers was excited. They were on a mission to discover new worlds. The captain, Tari, glanced at the control panel, his blue skin glowing in the light. "Everything looks good," he said to his crew. They all cheered and looked forward to their adventure. Suddenly, a loud beep echoed in the ship. The alarms blared and the lights flashed red. "What's happening?" One of the crew members, Nira, shouted, her yellow eyes wide with fear. Tari's heart raced as he checked the controls. "We've hit a space storm." "Hold on!" he yelled. The ship shook violently. The crew struggled to stay in their seats. Tari fought with the controls, trying to regain control of the ship. But it was too late. A powerful gust of wind slammed into them, pushing the ship off course. The spaceship spiraled out of control, tumbling through the darkness of space. "Brace for impact!" Tari shouted. The crew clutched their harnesses, bracing themselves for what was to come. With a deafening crash, the ship slammed into the surface of a strange planet. The impact sent a shockwave through the ship. Everything went dark. When Tari opened his eyes, he found himself lying on the cold, hard ground. He groaned and looked around. The ship was in ruins, smoke billowing into the sky. The once bright and shiny spaceship was now a twisted metal heap. The others were scattered around, dazed but alive. "Tari!" Nira called, crawling over to him. "Are you okay?" Tari nodded, but he felt a sharp pain in his leg. He looked down to see a piece of metal sticking out. "I think I'm hurt," he said, trying to stay calm. The other crew members slowly gathered around. They looked worried and scared. "What do we do now?" asked Jack, the youngest crew member, his voice trembling. Tari took a deep breath, trying to think clearly. "First, we need to check for supplies," he said. "We have to find food and water if we want to survive." The crew split up to search through the wreckage. Tari struggled to walk, but he pushed through the pain. He rummaged through the debris, finding a few emergency rations and some water canisters. He handed them out to his team, grateful they had something to eat and drink. As they gathered their supplies, the crew began to realize they were not alone. Strange sounds echoed from the forest nearby. The air was thick with tension. "What was that?" Nira whispered, her ears twitching. Tari glanced toward the trees, his heart racing. Suddenly, a rustling noise broke the silence. A large shadow moved among the trees. The crew froze, eyes wide with fear. "We need to hide!" Tari ordered. They quickly found a small cave nearby and rushed inside, breathing heavily. Inside the cave, they tried to calm down. "What kind of planet is this?" Jack asked, his voice shaking. "It's dark and scary." Tari frowned. "We need to stay quiet and stay together. We don't know what's out there." Outside, the sounds grew louder. The crew huddled close, listening to the rustling leaves and distant growls. They felt vulnerable and afraid. Hours passed, but the noises did not stop. They had no idea if danger lurked just outside their hiding place. Tari looked at his crew, their faces filled with fear and uncertainty. "We will find a way off this planet," he promised. "We just need to be brave and work together." But deep inside, he felt doubt. They were alone, stranded on a mysterious planet with no way to call for help. As the night deepened, the cave became colder. Tari's leg throbbed with pain, but he knew they had to stay strong. The survival of his crew depended on it. Outside, the growls faded into silence, but the fear remained. They had to face whatever was out there, and they had to do it together. On a nearby human colony named Nova Base, the sun shone bright in the clear blue sky. People bustled about, going about their daily tasks. Alex, a brave pilot with short brown hair and bright green eyes, was busy checking equipment in the control room. He loved flying and exploring new worlds. Today felt different, though. Something strange hung in the air. Suddenly, a loud beep broke the calm. Alex turned to see a red light flashing on the control panel. "What's that?" he wondered aloud. He quickly moved closer, his heart racing. The screen displayed a distress signal coming from an unknown source. He felt a rush of excitement mixed with worry. "I have to find out where it's coming from!" Alex pressed a button to enhance the signal. The screen showed a garbled message, but he could make out some words. "Crash. Help!" "Alone." His heart sank. Someone was in trouble, and it sounded urgent. "We need to investigate," he called to his team. His friend Maya looked up from her station. "You really want to go after this signal?" she asked, eyebrows raised. "It could be a trap." But Alex shook his head. "No, we can't ignore it. We have to try to save them. Maya sighed but nodded, knowing Alex's determination. Okay, let's get ready. I'll prepare the ship. Within minutes, they gathered supplies and boarded their small spaceship, the Starfire. Alex sat at the controls, excitement bubbling inside him. Set the coordinates, he shouted, his voice filled with energy. The ship roared to life and lifted off from Nova Base, heading toward the unknown planet. As they flew, Alex studied the data from the distress signal. It's coming from a remote planet in the Garnath sector, he said. This is a dangerous area, but we have to help. Maya's face turned serious. I just hope we get there in time. The journey felt long, but Alex kept his focus. He couldn't shake the feeling that someone needed him. As they approached the planet, they could see dark clouds swirling above its surface. Looks like we're in for a rough landing, Alex warned, gripping the controls tighter. Maya helped guide the ship through the turbulent atmosphere. Lightning flashed around them, making the sky look angry. Hold on, she shouted as they descended. The ship shook violently, but Alex remained calm. They burst through the clouds and spotted a clearing below. Quick, aim for that spot, he instructed. The ship landed hard but safely. Dust filled the air as they stepped out, and the planet's heat hit them like a wave. They looked around, seeing nothing but strange plants and eerie silence. Where is the distress signal coming from? Maya asked, looking worried. Alex checked the scanner. It's coming from that direction. He pointed to a dark forest nearby. We need to move fast. As they made their way into the forest, the atmosphere grew tense. Strange sounds echoed around them. Alex felt a chill run down his spine, but he pushed forward. We can't turn back now, he whispered to himself. They trekked through the thick trees, following the signal's direction. Suddenly, Alex stopped in his tracks. He saw something glowing faintly in the distance. There! It's coming from over there! He exclaimed. They hurried toward the light and soon found the wreckage of the alien ship. This must be it, Maya said, her voice low. They stepped closer and Alex felt a surge of determination. We need to find the crew. They could be hurt. As they searched the wreckage, Alex called out, Hello! Is anyone here? But only silence answered. He turned to Maya, worried. What if we're too late? Suddenly, the scanner beeped loudly. The signal is stronger now, Alex said, heart racing again. They pushed further into the debris and found a small cave nearby, hidden among the wreckage. The faint glow was coming from inside. Should we go in? Maya asked, feeling anxious. Alex nodded firmly. We have to. They need us. Taking a deep breath, they entered the cave, ready to face whatever lay ahead. Inside it was dark and cool, but the signal grew stronger. They moved carefully, hoping to find the crew alive. Inside the dark cave, Alex and Maya moved cautiously, their hearts pounding with anticipation. The faint glow from the scanner guided them deeper into the shadows. I hope we find them, Maya whispered, her voice barely audible. Alex nodded, feeling a mix of hope and fear. As they ventured further, the cave walls began to narrow. Strange markings covered the rock, glowing softly in shades of blue and green. What are these? Maya asked, touching one with her fingers. I've never seen anything like it. I don't know, Alex replied, but it might be important. Let's keep going. They pressed on, the glow getting brighter. Suddenly, a loud noise echoed through the cave, making them jump. What was that? Maya asked, her eyes wide. Alex raised a hand to signal for silence. They listened closely, and the noise came again, this time sounding like heavy footsteps. Something is coming, Alex said, gripping his tool tightly. They both held their breath, hearts racing as they backed against the cave wall. The footsteps grew louder, and shadows flickered in the dim light. Then, a figure emerged from the darkness. It was a tall alien with bright skin and large eyes. Who are you? It asked, its voice deep yet calm. Alex stepped forward, relieved to see a survivor. I'm Alex, and this is Maya. We came to help. Are you okay? The alien looked at them, unsure at first. I am Tari, the captain of this ship. We crashed here. My crew is scattered, and we are hurt. Alex felt a surge of determination. We'll help you find them. How many are missing? There are 3 of us left, Tari replied, looking worried. We have to be careful. The forest is full of dangers. Alex exchanged a glance with Maya. We can handle it. Let's work together. The 3 of them left the cave, stepping back into the eerie forest. The air felt thick, and the strange sounds surrounded them. Alex felt the weight of the mission on his shoulders, but he was ready to face whatever came their way. Follow me, Tari said, leading the group. They moved carefully through the dense trees, staying alert. As they walked, Tari told them about the crash. "We were exploring this planet when a storm hit us. The ship lost control and we went down. Do you know where your crew might be?" Maya asked. Tari nodded. "They scattered when the ship crashed. I hope they're safe." As they ventured deeper into the forest, the atmosphere grew more tense. Strange creatures moved in the shadows, and the sounds grew louder. "Stay close," Tari warned, eyes scanning their surroundings. Suddenly, a rustling noise came from behind a bush. "What was that?" Maya gasped. Alex stepped forward, ready to defend them if needed. "Let's check it out," he said, trying to sound brave. They approached cautiously, but before they could see what it was, a large creature burst from the bushes. It was tall, with sharp teeth and glowing red eyes. Alex felt his heart race as he shouted, "Run!" The team sprinted away from the creature, weaving through the trees. The creature roared behind them, its heavy footsteps pounding on the ground. "This way!" Tari shouted, leading them to a narrow path between the trees. They dashed down the path, adrenaline fueling their escape. "We can't let it catch us!" Maya cried, glancing back. The creature was gaining on them, its breath hot and heavy. Just as they rounded a bend, they spotted a small cave entrance. "In here!" Tari yelled. They slipped inside, panting and trembling. The cave was dark, but provided a moment of safety. They huddled together, catching their breath. "That was too close," Alex said, wiping sweat from his forehead. "Is everyone okay?" "I think so," Maya replied, looking relieved. "But we can't stay here long. We need to find the others." Tari nodded, determination in his eyes. "You're right. We can't give up." After a brief rest, they prepared to continue their search. The forest was dangerous, but they had each other. They moved cautiously, ready for whatever challenges awaited them. Together, they would find the missing crew members and face the unknown. The journey ahead was uncertain, but they were not alone anymore. After resting in the cave, Alex, Maya, and Tari knew they had to keep moving. The forest felt alive, with every sound echoing in the thick air. "We have to find the rest of your crew," Alex said, determination in his voice. "They might be in danger." Tari nodded, his bright eyes filled with hope. "We should split up to cover more ground. It will be easier to find them." Maya hesitated. "Are you sure that's a good idea? What if we get lost?" Alex placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "We'll be careful. Let's set a time to meet back here." Tari agreed. "Yes, let's say 1 hour. If you don't hear from me, go to the cave." They quickly decided to split into pairs, Alex with Tari and Maya on her own. "Stay safe, Maya," Alex called as they started to move. Maya took a deep breath and turned to head deeper into the forest. The trees closed in around her, and the sounds of the forest seemed to grow louder. She walked slowly, calling out for Tari's crew. "Hello? Is anyone there?" Silence answered her, making her feel small and alone. She continued walking, her eyes darting from one shadow to another. Suddenly, she heard a rustling sound nearby. "Who's there?" she shouted, her heart pounding. From behind a tree, a familiar face appeared. It was Lyra, one of Tari's crew members. "Maya! You found me!" Lyra exclaimed, her eyes wide with relief. Maya rushed over. "I was so worried. Are you hurt?" Lyra shook her head. "No, I'm okay, but I've been hiding. The forest is full of strange creatures." "Let's find the others together," Maya suggested, feeling a wave of relief wash over her. Meanwhile, Alex and Tari were also searching. They moved through the thick underbrush, calling out for Tari's remaining crew members. "We need to check that ridge," Tari said, pointing to a higher area. They climbed carefully, the ground slippery beneath their feet. As they reached the top, they spotted a small clearing below. "Look," Tari shouted, excitement in his voice. "There's a campfire!" Alex's heart raced as they hurried down the slope. When they reached the clearing, they found Ben, the third crew member, tending to the fire. He looked up, surprise flooding his face. "Tari! You found me!" Tari rushed forward, relief evident on his face. "We were so worried! How did you survive?" Ben smiled weakly. "I got separated during the crash. I've been here trying to stay safe." Alex stepped forward. "We need to regroup." Maya found Lyra. "Let's head back to her." With their numbers restored, they retraced their steps through the forest. The path seemed different now, and they felt stronger as a group. As they walked, they shared stories of their experiences. "I saw a creature that looked like it was made of shadows," Ben said, shivering. "It scared me half to death." Tari nodded. "We've all seen strange things here, but together, We can face whatever comes. As they approached the cave, they spotted Maya and Lyra waiting for them. Maya rushed over, her eyes shining. "You found them!" she exclaimed. "Of course," Alex said, grinning. "Now we're all back together." Lyra hugged her friends. "I was so worried about you all. This forest is not safe." Tari looked around at his crew, feeling gratitude swell in his chest. "We need a plan. We can't stay in this cave forever. We have to find a way to signal for help." Ben nodded. "I have some tools with me. We can build something to send a signal." Alex thought for a moment. "What if we create a large fire? It can be seen from the sky." "Yes," Lyra agreed. "If we gather enough wood, we can make it big." With a sense of purpose, the group set to work. They searched for branches and dry leaves, quickly collecting what they needed. Laughter and chatter filled the air as they worked together, the fear of the forest fading. As the sun began to set, they built a large pile of wood. "This will do," Tari said, stepping back to admire their work. "Now we just need to light it." Ben took out a small device. "This can help start the fire," he explained. "Let's make it bright!" As they lit the fire, flames danced into the sky, sending sparks flying. They gathered around, feeling warmth and hope. "Now we wait for someone to see us," Maya said, smiling. They looked up at the sky, feeling ready for whatever came next. As the fire blazed brightly, Alex, Maya, Tari, Lyra, and Ben gathered around, feeling the warmth spread through their tired bodies. The flickering flames danced like stars, casting shadows on the cave walls. "We did it!" Maya exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "Now we just need to wait for help." Tari looked up at the sky, his face serious. "But what if no one comes? We can't stay here forever. The forest is dangerous. We need to be ready," Alex replied, his voice firm. "We should find a way to protect ourselves while we wait." Ben nodded in agreement. "There are materials nearby that we can use. We can build defenses around our camp." "Good idea," Lyra said, her determination shining through. "Let's gather whatever we can find." The group quickly split up, moving through the forest to collect branches, rocks, and other materials. Working together, they built a small wall around their camp, making it harder for any creatures to reach them. After a few hours of hard work, they stepped back to admire their creation. "This should help keep us safe," Tari said, looking pleased. "Now, what do we do if we see a ship?" Maya asked. "How do we get their attention?" Tari thought for a moment. "We could create a signal. If we make a bright light, it will be easier for them to find us." "Let's gather more wood and make another fire," Lyra suggested eagerly. They set to work, collecting even more branches. As they worked, the group shared stories about their homes and lives. Maya talked about her family and how she missed them. Alex shared tales of Earth and how humans loved exploring new worlds. "Your planet sounds amazing," Ben said, his eyes wide. "I wish I could visit," Tari smiled. "And I wish we could show you ours. We are not so different despite being from different worlds." As night fell, they lit the second fire. This one burned brighter, sending sparks high into the sky. "Now we wait," Alex said, feeling hopeful. Hours passed, and the group sat around the fire keeping watch. Suddenly, a sound broke through the night, a low hum that grew louder. "Do you hear that?" Lyra asked, her heart racing. "Yes," Maya replied, her eyes shining with excitement. "It's a ship!" They all jumped to their feet, scanning the sky. A bright light appeared, cutting through the darkness. The ship was approaching fast. "This is it!" Tari shouted, waving his arms. "We need to signal them." Ben grabbed a branch and waved it in the air while Maya shouted, "Over here! We're here!" The ship grew closer, the sound of its engines roaring in their ears. "Get ready!" Alex yelled, feeling a rush of adrenaline. As the ship hovered above, a beam of light shone down, illuminating the clearing. A voice echoed from above. "This is Zara, captain of the Starfinder. We have received your distress signal. Are you in need of assistance?" "Yes," Tari shouted back, relief flooding through him. "We are stranded on this planet. We need help!" The ship lowered closer, and a ramp extended to the ground. Zara appeared, a tall figure with striking features. "Come aboard, quickly! We can get you out of here." The group rushed forward, hearts pounding with excitement. They climbed the ramp one by one, feeling the cool air of the ship wrap around them. Once inside, they were greeted by a warm, bright interior. "Welcome aboard," Zara said, smiling. "You are safe now." Tari looked around, amazed. "Thank you. We were lost and scared. We didn't know if anyone would find us." Zara nodded. We were monitoring signals from this region. Your fire helped guide us. Now let's get you back to safety." As the ship lifted off the ground, the group looked out the windows at the forest below. They had made it. They had survived together. "I'm glad we found each other," Maya said, smiling at her new friends. "Me too," Lyra replied. "We are stronger together." As they soared into the sky, Alex felt a sense of peace wash over him. They had faced the darkness of the unknown and emerged as allies. In the heart of the universe, they had formed a bond that would last beyond the stars. In a busy alien city called Zargoth, lights flashed and sounds buzzed everywhere. Colorful creatures from different planets filled the streets, each with their own stories. Among them was a young alien girl named Lyra. She had bright green skin, large purple eyes, and long silver hair that flowed like silk. But today she felt small and scared. Lyra belonged to a planet known for its peaceful ways. However, a recent war broke out between her people and another powerful race. Her planet's leaders accused her people of betrayal, claiming they had sided with the enemy. Because of this, Lyra was now seen as a traitor, even though she had done nothing wrong. As she wandered through the crowded streets, she could feel the eyes of the other aliens on her. Whispers filled the air.
"Look at her!"
one voice said. "She is one of them!" another added. Lyra's heart raced. She tried to blend in, but it was impossible. Every time she passed an alien, they turned away in disgust. She felt alone and frightened. Lyra quickly ducked into a dark alley, hoping to hide from the angry faces. The alley was narrow and filled with strange smells. She leaned against the cold wall, trying to catch her breath. The shadows wrapped around her like a blanket, but instead of comfort, they reminded her of how alone she truly was. Suddenly, she heard loud footsteps approaching. Her heart pounded in her chest as she peered out of her hiding spot. A group of alien guards marched by, their heavy boots thudding against the ground. They were looking for her, and the fear of being caught made her stomach twist. "We need to find her before she escapes," one guard shouted. "She knows too much." Lyra shivered. She didn't know anything except that she wanted to go home. But where was home now? The thought of her family brought tears to her eyes. She remembered the warm hugs of her mother and the laughter of her friends. Would she ever see them again? Just as she was about to give up hope, she heard another sound. This one was different. It was softer, like the hum of a ship's engine. Curious, Lyra peeked out again and saw a small group of humans standing at the end of the alley. They looked strange in their bright clothes, their eyes wide with wonder as they took in the sights of Zargoth. The humans had come to explore and trade with the aliens. Captain Alex, the leader of the group, noticed Lyra hiding. His eyes filled with concern. "Hey, are you okay?" he called out, stepping closer. Lyra's heart skipped a beat. No one had ever spoken to her like that. She wanted to trust him, but fear held her back. "Please, just go," she whispered. "I'm not safe here." But Alex shook his head. "We're not leaving you. We can help you." His voice was calm and kind. The other humans stepped forward, showing they meant no harm. They could see the fear in her eyes and wanted to protect her. Lyra felt a spark of hope ignite in her chest. Maybe, just maybe, these humans could help her escape the nightmare she was living. But she knew it wouldn't be easy. The city was dangerous, and the guards were everywhere. "Follow us," Alex said, motioning for her to come closer. "We won't let them take you." Taking a deep breath, Lyra stepped out from her hiding spot. She felt the weight of the world on her shoulders, but she also felt the strength of the humans behind her. Together they would face whatever came next. As they turned to leave the alley, Lyra glanced back at the city that had turned against her. With the humans by her side, she felt a glimmer of hope. Maybe this was not the end of her story, but just the beginning. Lyra felt a mix of fear and excitement as she walked beside Captain Alex and the other humans. The bustling streets of Zargoth faded behind them as they found a quiet place to talk. It was a small room in an old building, far from the angry crowds and watchful guards. Here, Lyra could finally breathe. "Are you okay?" Alex asked, his voice filled with concern. "We need to know what's going on. Why are they after you?" Lyra looked at the humans, their faces filled with kindness and determination. "I'm not a traitor," she said, her voice shaking. "My people are innocent. We only want peace. But now, they think I'm the enemy because of the war." Tears welled in her eyes as she spoke. Alex nodded, listening carefully. "We believe you. But we need to prove it. We can't let them hurt you. He turned to the others who were ready to help. We need a plan. We can't just hide forever. The humans gathered around a small table, each one sharing ideas. A young woman named Mia suggested, "What if we talk to the leaders of Zargoth? Maybe we can convince them to listen." "But they won't listen to us," one of the other humans replied. "We're outsiders. They might even turn against us." Alex thought for a moment. "True, but we have to try. We can't let fear stop us from doing what's right."